Hello, everyone. I'm here talking with Belleruth Naparstek. Back in April, when we converted from hands-on Reiki and Healing Touch sessions to distant internet Reiki and Healing Touch sessions, we were looking for a way to make these sessions more tangible, more real, to make them easier for people to experience, especially for the first time, because this was new to a lot of people, this method of delivering Reiki and Healing Touch over the internet. I was familiar with Belleruth's work. I've heard her speak at several conferences, and it seemed like a natural partnership to use guided imagery with these sessions. And I reached out to her, we ended up forming a partnership, and now we have 7 guided imagery audio files on our website that we use every time we give a Reiki and Healing Touch session. And it is amazingly powerful, and people seem to really like these guided imagery files. Belleruth, it is just great to see you.
Same here. And thank you for pronouncing my name right. It almost never happens.
Oh my God. Wow, that's great.
Yes. But I applaud you for combining the Reiki with the guided imagery, because it's a marriage made in heaven.
Yeah, I feel like it is too. And of course, we have 2 modalities, Reiki and Healing Touch. And both of them are just awesome. But with guided imagery, it just makes it so much easier, especially when people are doing this remotely, distantly.
Yes, yes.
Tell us about the study at with the vets and Healing Touch.
Oh, actually, they were active duty Marines, tough guys at Camp Pendleton in conjunction with Scripps Hospital. And what was that taught me so much, basically, the researchers, Mimi Guarneri, who is a very well-known physician, and she called to say she wanted to do this study. She wanted to use guided imagery combined with healing touch on Marines who had only 3 weeks between deployments. So they were back at Camp Pendleton and they were about to ship out again. So I said to them, thinking I was speaking from my vast wisdom and experience, I said, well, do you really want to do that with people with so little time? They know they have to go back. That's not the greatest audience to try this. And they wanted to use some very intense, powerful, but emotionally evocative and intense guided imagery, our healing trauma imagery. And I said, oh, you don't want to use that imagery right off the bat. You want to start with something a little more neutral, a little more self-soothing, and then move into that, because we know from the Army that it's really a lot to give people. Well, they totally ignored all my advice very, very wisely. They didn't listen to a word I said. And they combined 2 sessions a week for 3 weeks of healing touch with that supercharged guided imagery for post-traumatic stress. And it was a really good study, because they compared that with standard care, which was pretty classy. It was giving people individual psychotherapy and EMDR. So this group had healing touch and guided imagery. Okay, so first of all, everybody did great. Their symptoms were, all 3 clusters of PTSD symptoms were remediated. It alleviated depression too, which is a whole separate thing. And it reduced cynicism, which I thought was wonderful. It gave people it gave them their hearts back. Anyway, so the cohort that had the guided imagery and the healing touch ended up talking to the other groups. Word gets around at Camp Pendleton, and the other group that was getting this super classy EMDR plus individual therapy rose up and smote the researchers and said, we want that stuff. So they ended up getting a CD at the time, a CD and healing touch treatments. The other thing, though, that it taught me was, when you have a powerful technique like healing touch, which just deeply relaxes and opens a person, they can tolerate the most emotionally intense guided imagery in the world, which is what this stuff is. And I was flabbergasted at how well these Marines did and how powerful the healing touch was in letting the imagery get absorbed so beautifully and so quickly. So that's my story.
Oh, that is such a great story. That's wonderful. And and I just feel, we just feel so fortunate to be combining guided imagery with our work, Healing Touch and Reiki. Just feel like it supercharges our therapies and just makes everything more effective and just helps people trying to get through this really tough time with cancer.
You bet. In fact, what they would say, what the Marines would call it, would be, it's a force multiplier.
A force multiplier. I love it. I love it. Well, that's great. Well, I kind of feel like you are a force multiplier, Belleruth. Thank you.
as long as it's fun.
Thank you so much. It's just been a pleasure working with your therapies and having this partnership. Really appreciate this.
It goes both ways. Thanks so much, Sandy.
You bet.